This core melody video features tones 1, 3, 5 on a slow blues in G and is based in the third position. Here are 1, 3, 5 in G in the second and third position. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. And it uses a little bit in the seventh position. 1, 3, 5 up here. And there are modifications to the 1, 3, 5. For instance, on the C ninth chord, 1 flat 3, 5 is used. And other versions will follow, like this video, that feature other combinations, usually 3-note combinations like 3, 5, flat 7 as the featured tones rather than the 1, 3, 5 on this one. Core melody on slow blues in G featuring 1, 3, 5. Core melody tones 1, 3, 5. They may occur, such as on the C ninth chord, as 1 flat 3, 5, but these tones are generally in the key of G in this case, except in bar, see the numbered bar 10. In this version, it's the ninth bar of the blues, but it's bar 10. I'm playing in the key of A, up a whole step. And that's an idea taken from Albert King, used on his blues, also in G, Blues Power. So here's the beginning with the chromatic hammer. And here, rather than sliding in the G minor pentatonic up to the note G, I use this note E because it's a grace note, even if I wanted to make sure the listener was hearing G minor pentatonic. This note E doesn't matter because it's a grace note, it's so quick. The listener usually wouldn't notice what the beginning note is. Then I'm sliding chromatically into the B, the third of the key. And through this whole piece, by the way, the numbers written below the standard music notation and above the tab are the numbers in the key of G, except noted in bar 10 and the end of bar 9 right before that, where it says they're in the key of A. They're up a whole step in the key of 2. But continuing here on bar 2, that's called a mordant. Clapton uses those a lot. Got the idea probably from B.B. King, but he went further with it and uses mordants a lot. This mordant I did with E and F notes, the 6 and flat 7 of the key, with a slide just because it's easier. And then a lower chromatic this time to the flat 3. Here on the C ninth, I'm starting with flat 3, 5, 1. And I'm sliding into it chromatically, flat 3, 5, 1, and then flat 3 in the high octave, and then back to 1, 5, 1, and this lick, similar to what was done earlier. This is 5 to flat 7 to 5, to 4, to 3, and those notes, except for the C, are all in G7. It's a G7 sound, but it's done to predict the next bar, G7th. And then to make some energy here, repeat a note, and have this little run, flat 7, 1, sharp 2, 3, running up to the 3. And you might want to pay attention to your picking that. Pick alternate picking on these fast 7 notes. And pick down, and pick alternate picking. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Even though you're changing strings there, still pick continuously down, up. And then this next part could be just all down like Chuck Berry or B.B. King would play. 5, 1, and again slide 5 to 1. Now we're in the 7th position, and we're playing a 1, 3, 5 triad, G, B, D, 1, 3, 5 of G, and doing a pull-off on it from 5 to 3, followed by 1. So on each part of the triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm playing a triplet, like a triplet within a triplet. And then here, this is a modification of that chord. It makes it G diminished with a flat 5 and a flat 3. And you could finger that like this. Watch my left hand. In 7th position, and then go to 6th position. And switch to the 3rd finger here. Or if you prefer, you could play leaving the 2nd finger here and flatting those other 2 notes and using your 3rd and 1st finger, which is kind of a good idea because then you could use those same fingers and compress them on the next lick, which is 3, 2, flat 7. And those are notes of a G ninth chord, so that makes a G ninth chord sound. And then flat 3. What's a flat 3 doing there? Well, often you play flat 3s during a chord that has natural 3 in blues as an expression of sadness or blues. And this is also playing the notes flat 3, 1, 5 of G minor because G minor is part of C ninth. The next chord is C ninth and could be played as an arpeggio like this. And these top 3 notes of that C ninth are actually a G minor. So from the 4th beat of bar 5, then that is repeated on each of the next 3 beats, the first 3 beats of bar 6. And then this is sliding from A, because it's easy, up to D here, rather than from B flat. I want my strong finger up here. 3rd finger being stronger than the little finger. Then I'm coming down a G minor arpeggio. So if you've been practicing your minor arpeggios, you'll drop right into this. And I finger it with these 3 fingers. So that's minor arpeggio, of course, all 5, flat 3, 1, 5, flat 3, 1. And then here, I'm thinking in bar 7 that I'm going to play part of this C ninth chord. Here's C ninth with no root, or you can put the root here with your little finger. And by itself, that's an E minor 7, flat 5. But I have a problem here, or challenge. My last note in that arpeggio, I would fret with the 1st finger, and this chord I'd be accustomed to fingering with the 1st finger here, and that's an awkward move to end with the 1st finger here. Sorry. 1st finger here, and then the same finger here. Awkward move to do fast. So instead, make an exception at the beginning of the chord, use your 2nd finger, and then drop into the fingering like this. And that arpeggio at the beginning of bar 7 is played twice. So the first time it's with this finger here, and then it's with this finger here. So it's a held arpeggio played twice. And then it's C flat 9, which is the same arpeggio down 1 fret. It's just a chromatic drift, I call it. And then the next one is the A flat 7th that precedes the G 7th. So this would be a G 7th. You probably know this bar chord. This would be a G 7th at the 3rd fret. At the 4th fret, it's A flat 7th, and that could be used to lead to the G 7th. It's called a tritone substitute. You could look that up in my substitution chapter in my course. So this is a flat 5 substitute, which is really a flat 2 of this target G. And G is just from 1 fret above. You can call it a flat 2 of target. And then we're back to this. And why didn't I play all 3 of those notes of the G 7th when I went here? Why didn't I play all 3 notes? Well, it would be too muddy. I have a bassy tone, I have distortion, I wanted to cut through the mix. 3 notes in the bass, pretty muddy. So I cut it down to those 2 notes and did a vibrato, which, you see, I could have done with my tremolo bar, but not all of you have tremolo bar. So I did it with my hand, which is good for you to learn to do, especially in the bass strings. We're not so used to it. Then continuing in bar 8, this is like the beginning again. And then in bar 9, I'm sliding up to the 3rd with my little finger. And then here I'm sliding from the A note here up to a C, because now I'm playing this lick, which was previously on C ninth, but I'm going up a fret, up a step, up 2 frets, because on C ninth I'm playing G minor. And doesn't it sound logical? If I play G minor pentatonic or G minor arpeggio structure on C ninth, because it's the top of C ninth, couldn't I take the same thing and go up a whole step and play A minor? That's up 2 frets, right? On D ninth, and that's what I'm doing here. So this is in A, this is flat 3, 5, 1, flat 3, 5, 1, and that continues into bar 10. So you have the last beat of bar 9 anticipating the D9 sound of bar 10. 1 and 2 and a 3 and then a G minor arpeggio again, which is anticipating the C9 that follows. And just like before, this is the duplication of what you played before. Use the 2nd finger for that chord, like this. And then put the 1st finger in. And down a fret. And this is that A flat 7. And the G ninth again. So a bunch of that is repetition. Then jump up to the 7th position and use this idea again. But this time, proceed it with the 2nd and 3rd part of a triplet. 1, 2, and or 1, 2 triplet. 1, 2 triplet 3. And that's beat 3, and then play these little triplets on each part of the triplet. 3 triplet. We're playing da 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 da. And then flat the 3rd and flat the 5th of that, making it diminished. But here I ended it short and hit the flat 3rd of G here, because I want to end the D7th with this sound, a strong D7 sound with the flat 7 of it on the 1st string. So after that B flat, I went to the C note here, and then completed the rest of a G minor arpeggio, as I've done twice earlier, and then end on the 5th of the key. This is kind of like an Albert King classic ending.